You're not reading this right now. You're thinking about what you said 3 years ago at 2 a.m. to someone who probably forgot about it the next morning. You're replaying that conversation from last week, wondering if you said the wrong thing. You're planning a response to an argument that hasn't even happened yet. Welcome to the most exhausting place on earth, your own mind. Here's what nobody tells you about overthinking. It's not a personality flaw. It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, just in completely the wrong situation. See, the part of your brain that overthinks, it literally kept your ancestors alive. That constant scanning for danger, that replaying of past mistakes, that predicting of future threats. 10,000 years ago, that was the difference between being eaten by a predator and making it to morning. The problem? You don't live in that world anymore. But your brain hasn't figured that out yet. And until it does, it's going to keep fighting a war that ended thousands of years ago, inside your head, every single day. Let's get something straight first. Overthinking is not the same as thinking. Thinking moves forward. Overthinking goes in circles. Thinking solves problems. Overthinking creates new ones out of thin air. Thinking asks, what can I do about this? Overthinking asks, what if everything goes wrong? What if they hate me? What if I made the wrong choice? What if I'm not good enough? What if? Psychologists have a specific name for this. They call it rumination, and it's one of the most studied patterns in all of psychology because of how devastatingly common it is. Studies show that 73% of adults aged 25 to 35 identify themselves as chronic overthinkers. 73%. That's not a disorder. That's practically the default setting for modern humans. And the most dangerous thing about rumination isn't that it feels bad. It's that it feels productive. Your brain tricks you into thinking that going over something again and again is the same as making progress on it. It isn't. It's just suffering with extra steps. Overthinking doesn't just come in one flavor. It comes in 3. And most overthinkers cycle through all 3 without even realizing it. Trap number 1, the past loop. This is where you replay things that already happened. That embarrassing thing you said 5 years ago. That relationship that ended badly. That decision you made that you wish you could take back. Your brain keeps going back to it like a tongue finding a sore tooth. Not to fix it, because it can't be fixed. Just to feel it again, and again, and again. Trap number 2, the future spiral. This is where your brain takes one small worry and turns it into a full catastrophe. It starts with something small. Maybe you sent a text and they haven't replied. And within 60 seconds, your brain has decided they're ignoring you. They hate you now. You said something wrong. The friendship is over. You're going to be alone. Everything is falling apart. From one unreplied text to your entire life collapsing in 60 seconds. That's the future spiral. Trap number 3, the identity attack. This is the most dangerous one. This is where overthinking stops being about specific events or situations and starts being about you. Not, I made a mistake, but I am a mistake. Not, I did something awkward, but I am awkward. I am weird. I am too much. This is where overthinking graduates from an uncomfortable habit into something that starts to shape how you see yourself entirely. Here's what most people don't realize. Overthinking is not just a mental experience. Your body goes through it with you, every single time. When your brain perceives a threat, even an imaginary one, even a memory, even a made-up future scenario, your body cannot tell the difference. It releases cortisol, your stress hormone. Heart rate increases, muscles tighten, breathing gets shallow, digestion slows. Your body is preparing to fight or flee from a threat that exists only in your thoughts. And if this happens repeatedly, which for chronic overthinkers it does, dozens of times per day, Your body is in a constant low-level state of emergency. The research on this is sobering. Chronic overthinking is linked to elevated cortisol levels permanently, weakened immune system, disrupted sleep, higher risk of anxiety and depression, faster cognitive decline with age. Your brain is not just making you miserable, it is physically wearing you down, thought by thought, day by day. Here's something uncomfortable. The smarter you are, the more likely you are to overthink. This isn't a compliment wrapped in a problem, it's just true. High intelligence means a brain that is very good at generating scenarios, at seeing connections, at imagining consequences. All of those things are genuinely useful, but the same brain that can solve complex problems can also generate complex problems out of absolutely nothing. Researchers at King's College London found that people with higher IQ scores reported significantly more worry and rumination than those with lower scores. The brain that sees every angle of a problem also sees every angle of a fear. And here's the cruel irony. The more you try to think your way out of overthinking, the deeper in you go. Because you're using the very tool that's causing the problem to try to fix the problem. It's like trying to put out a fire with more fire and wondering why you're burning. There's a specific time when overthinking reaches its absolute peak. You already know what I'm going to say. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the middle of the night. Why? Because during the day, you have distractions. Work, conversations, tasks, noise. All of those things act as circuit breakers for the overthinking loop. They interrupt it before it fully takes hold. But at night, the distractions disappear. The noise stops. The room goes dark. And suddenly, the only thing left is you and every thought you've been successfully avoiding all day. They've been waiting. Every unresolved conversation, every unanswered question, every fear you pushed aside, every regret you told yourself you'd deal with later. Later is now 3 a.m., and they all arrive at once. Psychologists call this the cognitive intrusion effect, when suppressed thoughts flood back the moment external stimulation is removed. In other words, the harder you try to avoid a thought during the day, the louder it comes back at night. Okay, so what actually helps? Because here's the thing. Most advice about overthinking is useless. Just stop thinking about it. Oh, okay, thank you. Solved. Think positive. Groundbreaking. Stay busy. Until you're alone for 5 minutes. Then it's back. Here's what the research actually says. First, name it. When an overthinking spiral starts, don't try to stop it immediately. Name it first, out loud or in your head. This is the future spiral. This is the past loop. This is the identity attack. Neuroscience calls this affect labeling, and brain scans show that simply naming what's happening reduces amygdala activation. The part of the brain driving the spiral physically calms down when you name what it's doing. You are not stopping the thought. You are just stepping slightly outside it. And that small distance is everything. Second, give it a deadline. Tell your brain, you can worry about this, but only for the next 10 minutes. Set a timer. Worry as hard as you want. Then when the timer goes off, you're done. This sounds absurd, but it works, because it tricks the brain into feeling heard. The brain overthinks partly because it feels like the problem isn't getting enough attention. Give it scheduled attention. It calms down. Third, use your body. Overthinking lives in your head. Physical movement forces blood and attention into your body. Not the gym for 2 hours. Just walk. Around the block. 10 minutes. Research shows even brief walking reduces cortisol and interrupts the rumination cycle more effectively than sitting and trying to think differently. Your body is the exit door from the prison your mind builds. Here's the last thing I want you to understand, and this one matters more than all the strategies. Your overthinking is not your enemy. It is a protection system that learned the wrong lessons. At some point in your life, something went wrong because you weren't prepared. Something hurt because you didn't see it coming. Something failed because you trusted too easily. And your brain made a decision. Never again. It decided that if it just thought hard enough, long enough, carefully enough, it could prevent bad things from happening. It was trying to protect you. The problem is, it overstayed its welcome. So instead of fighting your overthinking, try something different. Acknowledge it. Say, I know why you're here. You're trying to keep me safe. But I don't need this level of protection anymore. I've survived everything so far. And I'll survive what comes next too. That is not weakness. That is the most psychologically sophisticated thing a human brain can do. Choosing trust over fear. On purpose. Every day. The war inside your head is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that you are human. Fully, completely, exhaustingly human. And the goal was never silence. The goal is to stop letting the noise make decisions for you. You can have 100 anxious thoughts and still choose to move forward. You can replay that conversation 1,000 times and still decide it doesn't define you. You can lie awake at 3 a.m. with every fear you've ever had sitting on your chest and still get up in the morning. Still try. Still show up. Still be here. That's not losing the war inside your head. That's winning it. The loudest battles are the ones nobody else can see. And the fact that you're still standing, that means you're winning.